Sound check, 1, 2, 3. Sound check, sound check. Hi everybody! Welcome to Fancy Fry's Kitchen, an offshoot of Frybox 64 Productions. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Frybox 64, and on this channel we are going to be exploring the many cookbooks that I have back in my back room and finding old recipes that might not get made too much anymore, and just seeing how complicated, fancy, and weird they may be. Today, since it is my birth month, we are going to be baking a walnut coffee gateau, which is like a cake, but fancy. And why not? Because it is Fancy Fry Productions. So your walnut coffee gateau serves about 8 to 10 people, and your ingredients are going to be 1 1/4 cups of walnuts, 5 1/2 ounces or a generous 3/4 cup of sugar, 5 eggs, separate the yolks from the whites, 1 scant cup dry breadcrumbs, 1 tablespoon cocoa powder, 1 tablespoon instant coffee, 2 tablespoons rum or lemon juice. Use the rum. 1/4 teaspoon salt, 6 tablespoons red currant jelly, warmed. Technically, this is lingonberry jelly because out of all the jellies that there are, lingonberry is my favorite. And finally, chopped walnuts for decorating. So, I've got my mixer, got my recipe, got my ingredients, and I've got my Call of Cthulhu coffee. Thank you so much, Connor, for the coffee mug. This bad boy can get so much caffeine loaded into it. Slap. And let's get into it. For the frosting, you need 8 ounces of plain chocolate and 3 cups of whipping cream, which you don't see right here. We did the frosting off camera. For the frosting, which was done before we started recording, which is in that lovely little container right there, combine the chocolate and cream in the top of a double boiler until the chocolate melts. Cool, then cover and chill overnight, or until the mixture is firm. So for our next step, we're actually supposed to take the walnuts and 3 tablespoons of the sugar, and you're supposed to combine them together. Some people like to use food processors, some people like to use coffee grinders, some people like to use blenders. I have some guy named Joe with a wok. Then we're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Line and grease a 9 by 2 inch cake tin. Technically, we did not have that one specific cake tin. We had 2 circular cake tins, so we used those instead. Adapt, improvise, and overcome. And that's the lovely mix in that little red Solo cup right there. With an electric mixer, beat the egg yolks and remaining sugar until thick and lemon colored. That's how it's spelled, colored. Fold in the walnuts. Stir in the breadcrumbs, cocoa, coffee, and rum or lemon juice. Rum is what we used. In another bowl, beat the egg whites with the salt until they hold stiff peaks. Very stiff peaks. Fold carefully into the walnut mixture. Pour the meringue batter into the tin and bake until the top of the cake springs back when touched, about 45 minutes. Allow the cake to stand for 5 minutes, then turn out and cool before slicing the cake in half horizontally. We deviated a little bit from this part of the recipe. We stuck both of the cake pans in the oven, baked them off, cooled them for about 5 minutes, flipped them over, and boom! There we go. We had our 2 layers of cake. No slicing and dicing necessary. Which actually is rather risky with those 2 cake pans because sometimes they overbake and sometimes they underbake. They are very, very temperamental little pans. And finally, with an electric mixer, beat the chocolate frosting mixture on low speed until it becomes lighter, about 30 seconds. This did not actually work that well. I needed to beat it at a faster speed than that. Brush some of the jelly over the cut cake layer, or the bottom layer in this case. Spread with some of the chocolate frosting, then sandwich with the remaining cake layer. Brush the top of the cake with jelly, then cover the side and top with the remaining frosting. Make a starburst pattern with a knife and sprinkle chopped walnuts around the edge. We did not do the starburst pattern. We instead just took the cake decorating palette knife and just sort of scraped the top and said, it works. We're fancy, but we're not that fancy. We're not that discerningly snobby. And there you have it, walnut coffee gateau. How big of a piece would you like? Glamour shot, and we're gonna do
Ooh. We're gonna do a woo. Woo.
Ooh, let's see the layers.
Ooh.
Look at the layers.
Look at the layers.
Yay!
Yay.
That looks rich.
Do you want your own slice or do you want to share this slice with me?
Madam, we know the answer to this question.
Get your own slice.
Yep.
Nice. And then I'll get mine.
So now that you're cutting that, I'm going to put this back here.
Crazy, yeah.
Just gonna grab a fork. Here you go.
The cat. The cat.
Which one? They're both there.
Minnie. Do you see her? You can't see her, but she is right by me, staring at my cake. Now go taste test. Ooh. I love how the whipped cream just kind of like whoop, sploots out from the center. Mmm.
The lingonberries do its service.
Mmm. It's like a brownie. This tastes a lot better than I thought it was going to
It's
taste.
not quite as gooey as a brownie.
And to think there's no flour in it, it's just breadcrumbs.
That's flour.
It's repurposed flour.
Deconstructed flour.
It's repurposed flour.
It's deconstructed bread flour.
Mm. Like, I don't get a ton of the coffee in there, but that's okay.
Well, the coffee's definitely there.
Like, I get it on the backswing. I get it as it's going down. But it definitely tastes like a brownie with jam and whipped cream on it, and I love it, and I'm living for it.
This is really rich.
Mmm.
A little too rich for my taste. I'm a vanilla cake person.
Here I just did a workout video, not half an hour before I started this. I'm doing everything I just did right here.
To be fair, it does have 3 eggs, lots of nuts in it,
5
cream.
eggs. 5 eggs.
That's lots of eggs.
Lots of binder. I can hear the washing machine. Done with my laundry.
But, I mean, minus the sugar itself,
Mm-hmm.
mainly it's cream and eggs, and just a little bit of breadcrumbs. If you are counting calories, statistically, I mean, by the numbers, this would be lower in carbs because 1 cup of breadcrumbs is a lot less than a cup of flour that a regular cake would do.
I love the tang that the lingonberries brings.
Because what, a cake like this would normally take what, 1.5 to 2 cups of flour?
Something like that.
Yeah, no. 1 cup of breadcrumbs is way less.